They was racing for dead last, and then they crashed each other. I was watching the 20 car a whole lot. Coming back up onto the track, whatever corner that is, he was in a different groove every time. He was trying so hard, he'd get out of the groove and lose time instead of making time.
He was kind of overdriving.
Well, he was doing everything he could to make it up, and he was really losing.
The way it is right now, there's 3 Chevrolets, 3 Toyotas, and 2 Fords.
1, 2, 3.
Give him a pencil. Okay.
Okay, Dale, what do you think about a ROVAL?
Well, I've been thinking about it.
I know. I figured you had.
But if I had you running, I believe I'd have kept you on the oval. I believe you'd have made better time.
I'd have made better.
I don't know. I don't know, Richard, that there's one dominant car.
The 5 car was definitely dominant. You had the 5 car, and then the 20 was in there, the 16 and the 13, and they were the class of the field.
Yeah.
The rest of the people they raced each other.
They just filled in.
They just kept it from being but it was like a single file run. I mean, those people run. The only time they'd get together is the last turn. They're getting up on the racetrack.
If somebody spun out.
Yeah, and they'd be 5 or 6, 7 spun out. Everybody just put it in gear and go again. They was running so slow that they'd run into each other and didn't hurt anything.
Yeah, but our 2 cars had to pick a corner where you was running fast enough to tear up 2 cars at one time.
They was racing for dead last, and then they crashed each other, knocked both of them out.
Okay, it ain't good, but that's the way it happened. Yeah. There's so much strategy talk before the race, and then the announcers got their theories on it, because I watched it on tape this morning. I could fast forward, so. But it's just, one thing just changes everything for everybody.
The big deal is that you had 3 different races.
Yeah.
They took off and they run their deals, and the best cars was up front. The 20 had to run and catch up, but then it got all confused. The first thing I know, the guys leading the race was running 23rd and 25th and all that, and then it all came out in the last run that the real good ones got back to the front. How they done it, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? But you had some of those cars that run in the back was running up front in the middle race. And, if you're sitting there as a spectator and don't have the stuff in front of you to tell where everybody's at, it's got to be very, very confusing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they was early pitting and and trying to.
Everybody had a strategy.
Everybody had a strategy.
What the 16? He made an extra pit stop there somewhere, and I never did understand what happened.
Well, he got spun one time.
Maybe that's what happened then.
Yeah, I didn't. I watched it this morning, and he took off and led the race. He sat on the pole, and then the 5 car. It looked like the 5 car watched and seen what he was doing. Then when they made a green flag stop before the stage, the 5 they must have beat him 4 or 5 seconds in the pits, getting in and out and everything.
At one time, the 9 car ran really good, along in the middle of the race there. I don't know if he didn't ever lead, but he was running just as quick as the front cars.
Okay.
You mean, in fact, he caught up with a 22 car and finally passed him. And I think that must have been I don't know if that's first or second segment, but it's kind of a deal that the guys run, and I was watching the 20 car a whole lot, and he was a pretty good car, but coming back up onto the track, whatever corner that is, he was in a different groove every time. He was trying so hard, to try to catch up with a 5 car that he'd get out of the groove and lose time instead of making time.
He was kind of overdriving.
Well, he was doing everything he could to make it up, and he was really losing.
Then all of a sudden we find out that somebody's a little bit light.
Yeah, after the race, they checked all the cars, or part of the cars anyway, especially the ones that is running for the championship, and they found the 48 car was light, and they give them 17 pounds or something when the race is over from what they're really supposed to weigh, but then they lent them fill the tank up, and that's to take care of when you're down on water, you're down on gas and stuff like that. They give you the benefit of the doubt. But they let them gas it up and put the water, they filled up with everything they could, and it was still light. So, they'll take the car back to NASCAR headquarters there, and I guess and find out, where the weight did come from. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but it really changed the championship.
Well, it definitely did.
It changed a lot of money.
It put the 22 car back in the top 8, and so the top 8, and that changed the whole strategy, because the 2 car and the 22 car was eliminated, and that's 2 of Penske's cars. So he still had the 12 car that's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, there's only going to be 1 Ford in the playoffs.
Right now, the way they got it, there'll be 2 Fords.
Yeah. The way it is right now, there's 3 Chevrolets, 3 Toyotas, and 2 Fords, if I'm doing my math right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Give him a pencil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you done good.
Okay, but I don't know. No,
it's going to be interesting, because right now, you look back at the way they've been running and stuff, the whole year, basically. The 5 car has been basically the dominant car more than any of the rest of the cars, and so, if everything goes as planned, then it's going to be hard to beat him for the championship.
Well, he runs hard.
And he races all the time.
Logano's in it, and he runs hard. So,
but they've been having terrible luck.
Yeah, but
circumstances, I'll put it that way.
But if I was in the 48 situation, and of course, if I was the crew chief, I'd be arguing with him. I'd want them to count the air pressure in the tires too.
You think that'd make it way more?
The pound, I'd put some extra pounds of air in the tires and say count that too. But I don't know. I'm making a joke, But that the 48 getting disqualified,
that changes the whole.
That changed a lot.
The whole deal.
And it, because I'm pretty sure it's over, but it ain't over till it's over. I guess.
Hendricks was going to have all 4 of his cars in it.
That was a big deal, and only, I'm repeating myself, only 1 Ford, but that's put 2 Ford. It's equal everything back out as far as manufacturers, as even as they can get it. But
well, that's the way it'll be now. Now they got 3 more races to figure out who the last 4 is.
Yeah, it'd be something if they go to Phoenix and the champion run about 35th, and it could happen.
It can happen. It hasn't happened so far.
But I know you always question the way the point system is now, and I guess I do a little bit, but it's what it is. So you got to stand up and take advantage of what's there.
If you do good enough, the points will take care of themselves.
Yeah, but I tell you what helps strategy. A good fast race car and a good driver, and don't make no mistakes. That's the bottom line.
When we go to Vegas, then that's a whole different ball game from a ROVAL. So, I wouldn't bet on anybody going to Vegas, because it's going to be pretty wide open.
Yeah, and just so much pressure on the pit crews too. I mean, pit stops they were important yesterday, but you didn't get lapped if you made a mistake,
right?
Unless you left a wheel off.
Yeah.
So we won't go there. But okay, so we'll just wait for Vegas, and next week we'll talk about it.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't see a whole lot of difference. It did make a lot of difference not coming to the start-finish line. When they changed that corner, it really didn't make a whole lot of difference. In fact, I think when they changed it, it made that corner better. But then the one that's coming up on the racetrack, they made a sharper corner there, and that was where all the excitement was. I mean, they'd spin out 5 or 6 cars, and everybody just they was running so slow they didn't hurt each other. So that made to me, that made the racetrack a little bit more interesting.
Well, like I said, I'd have kept my driver on the ROVAL, and not messed with the ROVAL. But they, from Saturday to Sunday, they cut down some of the, I'm gonna call them humps, because the drivers was complaining about it. They hit it so hard that they felt it through their body, and so they did cut that down some, and evidently it helped. I don't know.
I don't know, because I've never rode in a racetrack. There's different corners that maybe that you would change if you drove the track and understood, but me not. In fact, I've never even drove around a racetrack, around the ROVAL, so I have no clue to how I don't want to change it.
I'm like Richard. I'm not familiar with all the turns, but I'd try to eliminate the real slow turns. I think that calls for a calamity corner, if you want to say that. I'd cut out the real slow corners. I don't like that.
That's a good question. That's what they're checking on. They're taking the car back. They give them all the benefit of the doubt. They let them, gas it up and put whatever, done everything they could. Probably even their drinking bottle, they probably let them fill it up. But they took it back to the NASCAR headquarters, and it's going to be interesting just how did they get the weight out of the car between going through inspection and getting on finishing the race.
How did you used to do it, Dale?
We never cheated. I'm not sure they're cheated. I don't know what happened, but if they had a plan to get through the first inspection, they should have had the same plan to beat the second inspection. So I don't know. I'm just
it's a big question mark right now for sure.
Yeah, and I don't, but I'm pretty sure I know how it's going to turn out.